right. Okay, so we're recording. Welcome, you guys. I'm so proud of, first of all, I have to shout out Natasha for her first team call. So exciting. So glad you're on. It's our first Sunday night team call. So I know it's a little bit of an odd time for some people, but it seemed like this was going to be a good time for most. So we're going to give it a go, and we'll reassess here in the new year and see if it's still working for everybody. But a couple of things that I wanted to make note of. So y'all probably saw on the team page that Facebook is making some changes to their restrictions with social media and how they go about auditing people's personal accounts. So this has caused a lot of people to freak out, particularly those who are doing an MLM like what we're doing. And one, I don't want you guys to freak out, but I did want to make sure to educate everybody with that post. But I also have been reading up some more on it. Not very many of us do videos as far as like workout videos and things like that. And even I have lessened the number that I do, but that is one thing that they're cracking down on is videos. Any kind of music of any kind, even if it's Beachbody On Demand playing in the background, they are like, they'll freeze your account. And so just wanted to share that information so that if you're doing videos, you're just not putting any music to them. They might be kind of boring as far as sound goes, but would be better to be safe than sorry. Some people are even going back like years and deleting videos off their page. I would like cry to do all that. All my pregnancy videos, I'd be so sad. I didn't save them anywhere. So just wanted to pass that along. There's been a lot of new releases, a lot of information as far as new announcements that just came out. They had the leadership event was this past weekend in Las Vegas, which is for 5-star and above. And they gave us a couple of new things to look forward to in 2018, which is awesome. So if you haven't seen them, I'm just going to go over them really briefly and give you the FAQ so you can look them up. But they're going to be coming out with a protein bar, which is finally super exciting that I've seen 2 flavors. Don't ask me what they are. I've already forgotten about them. But the FAQ is 9754. So that's really exciting. That'll be, I know a lot of people ask, well, what's a healthy and safe protein bar? And this is one that we can easily recommend and confidently recommend. I do think they're going to be like gluten-free and all that good stuff too, so that's exciting. One thing I'm pumped about is the new nutrition plan that's coming out in 2018. So I think it's launching in the first few months of 2018. It's called the 2B Mindset, and the FAQ on that is 9749. But I encourage you to go watch the video. I also put it in our client resource page for Restoration Nation. But it looks really, really neat. It is different from the Portion Fix in that it deals more with emotions and mindset when it comes to nutrition versus the XYZ of eat this, do this. And so I'm really excited to have that as something we can offer our clients, and something that I feel like I can benefit from as well. So I'm read up on that, but more details to come on that. But that was a really exciting new launch. I love that they're expanding the nutrition side of things with Beachbody. So it's not just we're viewed as a fitness company. You know, we can have more facets as far as nutrition goes and things like that. So double time challenge packs. If Elena, will you post that brief kind of summary of the challenge packs with the FAQ that you put in our team chat and put it in the team page? The double time challenge packs are worth 3 Success Club points this month. And they have ones that give you the all access with the double time stuff. So just be mindful that some of those do not come with the Portion Fix containers. So some of us are offering that as a giveaway, or, you know, if you purchase this will be my gift to you, things like that. But it does give you 3 Success Club points, which is wonderful. The last thing is November to remember. Some of you are participating, which is wonderful, and some are not. It does not matter to me, but the registration deadline closes tomorrow. FAQ on that is 2265. If you're already planning on hitting Success Club in November, which is a great goal for all of us to set, I encourage you to just register, because you can just earn extra prizes and raise money for charity in the process by doing so. You just need one person to partner with. So post in the team page. If you need help finding a partner, let me know. But those are all my announcements for tonight. So I'm going to get straight into the meat of the call. We're talking about, and y'all are going to have to pardon me if I breathe heavy. Can y'all hear me and see me and everything okay? Yes. Okay. So let me move this way over here. All right. I'm telling you, my internet sucks. Okay, is that better? Yes? Okay. All right, so it looks like my connection is strong, so it might be yours, Elena. So I want to talk about goal setting. So there's a lot of different ways you can look at goal setting, but I want to help you break it down into 5 categories. And then at the end, we're going to tie it together on how to create an action plan for those 5 categories and really give yourself something to work towards. Because in this business, it's easy to say, I want XYZ, I want to be XYZ by XYZ time frame, but if you don't put an action plan to it, then it's just words and it's hard to follow through. And a lot of times we get lost in that transition. We know what we want, but we don't necessarily know how to get there. So there are 5 categories that I feel like are really great ways to set goals and great areas to set goals in. And I'm going to kind of overview them real quick and then break them down. So the first one is your personal growth and your personal journey. The second one is social media. The third one is financial. The fourth one is rank. And then the fifth one is your daily to-do list. So those are kind of, when I think about goals, when I personally set goals, those are the 5 areas that I set goals in, because it really gives me, it kind of covers everything, and it doesn't just say I want to make X amount of money, because you can want to make X amount of money, but there's so much more to that than just that wish. So the first one, your personal growth and personal journey. I fully believe that you have to be your number one priority. We're in a business where our personal journey is at the top of the priority list for helping others, because if we can't pour from an empty cup, and we also are not living authentically as a coach if we're not practicing what we preach. Now, the neat thing is that this environment is not conducive to perfection. We want to be authentic and real and us. So that does not mean being perfect in our journey by any stretch of the imagination. But I find that when my business struggles, it's because more times than not, it's because my personal journey is struggling, whether that's in my health and fitness journey, or maybe it's in my personal growth. The beautiful and the hard thing about this business is that your worst qualities are kind of right in front of your face all day, every day when you're working your business. And that is phenomenal for personal growth, because it really forces you to work on becoming a better human being, becoming a better person, a better support system, etc. But if you're not working on those areas, then it's hard for you to pour into other people. So let's break it down. So when I think about personal growth and my personal journey, you think about the basics. You think, okay, I want to lose X amount of weight. I want to be X size. I want to lose X amount of inches, or I want to reach this specific clothing goal, etc. So, that's kind of no-brainer stuff as far as your personal journey. But there's also a personal development aspect to that. That's something that I have openly shared that I struggle with, only from a time management perspective. It's not necessarily that I don't like personal development. It's just from a time management perspective, that's the first thing that gets cut, unfortunately. And so personal development should really be high on the priority list for your personal growth in your goal setting. So figuring out, I want to listen. So I start small. I wanted to listen to my 5-minute Darren Daily podcast thing that I subscribe to Darren Daly's little thing. And that's my goal. It's like, I want to make sure I get 5 minutes in today. And with a crazy toddler, sometimes that's all I get. Now, there are other times where I might have, I have certain books on backup for the days that I have more time, but I have my non-negotiable of whatever that personal development allotment is that day. I also encourage you to set fitness goals. So that could be maybe you want to run a 5K. Maybe you want to do a Spartan race. Maybe you want to be able to do a real push-up. Maybe, you want to look at your fitness goal outside of just a size or a number. View it as a strength. So when I think about this, I also think about, when I set my yearly goal, I want to complete X number of programs. So, we are told about launches kind of as they come up. Hold on, I gotta sit up a little bit. We are told about launches as they come up. So we don't really get a huge heads up, like a year planning. But I know that I usually will want to complete 5 to 6 programs every single year. And maybe you want to add in a running program, but you want to break down a fitness goal with your personal goal. And then the last one, this is actually a category that I'm sorry I'm moving, guys. I'm just trying to find a comfortable position. Okay. One thing that I have added to my goals is a mental health goal. Now, this kind of sounds weird, but it is really important in this business to have healthy boundaries with your coaches, with your clients, and with your inbox. So a lot of this is based off of time management. But making sure that you're being intentional and focused with your time and unplugging and knowing that it's okay to unplug, that you don't have to be accessible to everyone the very first time that they message you. They can wait 5 minutes or 5 hours and they'll still be there when you get around to answering them. So those are kind of the areas that I look at when I'm setting goals for my personal journey. Okay. Now, section 2, so social media, and I'm not going to get into a lot on this one because we could do a whole call on this, but basically with social media, you want to set, there's only a couple areas that you're going to work on with this. Number one is how many posts do you want to get out a day? If you're a new coach, 1 post a day is a great goal. If you are a more seasoned coach, then maybe 2 to 3 posts is your sweet spot, making sure that those aren't just Beachbody posts, that they have a healthy dose of your life, and that Beachbody is just a facet of that. We talk about that a lot. So a number of daily posts. You're also going to want to have a number of transformation posts. Now, this does not mean a physical transformation necessarily. Sure, you want to be sharing that piece of your journey, but you also want to talk about how transformed you are mentally, emotionally, relationally. How do you interact with other people now that you are investing in yourself? Are you less quick to anger? Are you quicker to grace? Things like that. So I set a transformation post goal. For me right now, it's actually like 2 to 3 week, because I feel like my transformation is a little bit different physically these days. I'm not quite in that postpartum journey to share. I really try to hit home on the transformation emotionally and physically and mentally, and remember that appeals to so many people. And I also am working on sharing the transformation within my marriage and things like that. So it can be more than just a before and after picture. While those are wonderful, I highly encourage you to share those. Go deeper than that. And then the third piece of that would be friend requests. So growing your network, however you choose to grow it, but making sure that you're doing that every single week, because you don't want to run out of people to talk to or to love on, to build relationships with, to encourage, because most of us don't have thousands of friends on our friends list, especially when we first start. For me, I only had, I can't even remember the number, but it was like 300 to 500 friends. And now I've got almost 3,000 friends. And that's been intentional growing up my network with people that aren't cray-cray. Okay, so number 3, financial. And this is when you think about goal setting, this is really the first thing that your brain goes to. But by doing those first 2, you're naturally going to be working on this third category, because you're working on yourself, you're working on your business, you're sharing your business, and then in turn, you're going to see that pay off financially. It is important, though. A lot of people don't want to talk about money, but it is important to set financial goals, because you have something to work towards. Even if you don't hit it right away, or it takes you a little longer, or whatever it may be, having a clear vision of what you see yourself in a dream world, an ideal world, what would you want out of your Beachbody business financially? As coaches, we joined most likely for accountability. We joined for a community. We fell in love with the process and the support, the tools. But being a coach, you don't want to have a side gig. Think about this is a side job. Most of us have I do this full time, but I know everyone else has full-time jobs outside of Beachbody. So this is viewed as a side job, a side gig, but you don't want to have a side gig that doesn't pay any money. Like, you're not going to go to a restaurant and work at a restaurant, or work retail and do it for free and work for no paycheck. And it's the same thing with this. We want your efforts to have fruits and make it worth your time, because those efforts, those fruits, are a direct correlation with the number of people that you're helping, which is a really neat and rewarding thing. The higher your paycheck, the more people that you have helped, whether it be with your team, whether it be on their own personal journey. So it's a neat correlation to have. But I started by creating, so I started really small. I said, what do I want to pay for first? I just wanted to pay for Shakeology. That was it. Like, if I could start consistently paying for Shakeology, that was my number one goal. Then when that started happening consistently, I was like, okay, I would love for my husband to be able to drink Shakeology, because I know that it would really benefit his cholesterol levels. So I would love to be able to pay for both our Shakeologies. Now, around that time frame, I realized, holy moly, I could actually maybe do this full time. I want to leave corporate America. I want to come home to be with my babies. And then everything changed, and I had to really sit down and figure out what that looked like for me. But having a financial checklist, and saying, okay, in phase 1 of my business, this is what I want to achieve. In phase 2 of my business, I want to pay off this credit card and this credit card, but be specific and say, as of right now, this credit card has $473. I want to pay that off by this date, etc. Have goals. So, okay. Now, for those, I know that there are actually at least 1 or 2 of you that on this call that want to do this full time, which is phenomenal. I mean, it has been the biggest blessing for me and for my family. But remembering that huge goals require huge sacrifices if you want to reach them fast. So you can grow. This is what's so neat about this company. You can grow your business at whatever pace you want to. You can so when you get all this information on team calls and you think, oh my gosh, I need to set goals and do this and that and the other, you can do it at whatever pace you want. If you want to be just kind of a go with the flow coach and do it as you please, then that is awesome. And we support you 200%. If you want to go balls to the wall and leave corporate America, we're going to support you just the same when you do that as well. But just really being honest about what you want out of the financial side of things, and realizing that the higher that you want out of it from a time standpoint, if you really want to reach those goals fast, it's going to require some huge sacrifice. So that's just a little side note. Okay, so category 4, rank. Now, for my new coaches, I know I have a couple new coaches on the call. So Don't let any of this information overwhelm you. It took me forever to learn about rank. But with rank, all rank is a way to gauge your how your team is growing. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're growing a team underneath you of like 50 business builders right away. It just means that how many people do you have underneath you that are ordering Shakeology at a discount? So for rank, the very first thing I would say is know the benefits of each rank. This is not something I did very well when I first started. My upline coach, I'm very incentive oriented. So when she said, I will give you this gift if you hit this rank by this day, I said, okay, sign me up. How do I do that? So I was very incentive oriented. Some people are not. Some people are very much they want to be affirmed. They want recognition. They want people to notice their efforts and things like that. So, every person is wired extremely different, and that's a different call altogether. But knowing the benefits of each rank. So from a basic standpoint, you have every person starts out the same level, which is nice. So we all start out as just straight up coaches. We don't have anybody underneath us, nobody help us. We all start out on the same page. Now, when you start hitting a higher rank, let's take Emerald, for example. That's all that is 2 coaches underneath you. When you hit Emerald rank, you start having the benefits of accruing more income than just commissions. Up until then, you're just a commission-based coach, which there's nothing wrong with. But if you really want to build a long-lasting foundation for income, rank is the way to do so. So really educating yourself on what the ranks are and then what you need to do to get there. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go over all the ranks. Because I didn't even know that there was anything beyond diamond when I hit diamond. And then I realized, oh, you keep going after diamond. Oh, there's 1-star diamond, there's 2-star diamonds. And then honestly, in the last few months, I've been doing this almost 2 years, is when I've really started to realize the benefits of the rank from a financial standpoint. So know that when you hit certain ranks, the company rewards you for your team's efforts and through bonuses and things like that. I mean, to the point where the higher up in the company, like let's take 15-star diamond, for example. That's when you have 15 people underneath you who are diamond rank. That's extremely hard to get. That means 15 people have to hold diamond for a certain period of time. But let's say you have 15 diamonds underneath you. Your bonus per quarter, if you're an active paid 15-star diamond, is $30,000. So in a quarter, that's added on top of whatever else you're already making as a 15-star diamond. I know my mouth dropped when I read that too. So the earning potential is huge. Just be educated on the ranks, because that's where you're really going to be seeing your income grow outside of commissions. Because commission sales, they're wonderful. That's how we get people started. That's how we change lives. That's how I never want our team to shift from helping people through commission-based sales. But if we want to grow a solid foundation in our business, you have to at some point make that transition to rank. Okay. A couple just little tips about that. Don't set a rank goal and not act towards it. I did that when my first year of coaching. I said, oh, I want to be 5-star. I want to be 5-star diamond by the end of my first year. And I didn't do anything about it. Wasn't recruiting. I was recruiting, but I wasn't like helping my coaches get to diamond. Everyone has to figure this business out. It's normal. But I really learned a lot in that year. But don't set a rank goal and not have an action plan to go along with it. Your rank is still dependent on your actions. A lot of people view for me at this point, we are a 2-star diamond team. That means we have 2 diamonds underneath us, and with 2 diamonds within our team. And I still have to continue recruiting if we want to hold that 2-star diamond rank. So it never becomes a shift where there's this kind of, they view it as a pyramid scheme where you can make a lot of money based off everybody else's actions. As the leader, I cannot earn income if I'm not doing my part in continuing to recruit. So just know that there's that piece of it also. And the last thing is, don't rely on discount coaches. This is a hard one, especially if you're pushing for something like Diamond. Really, if you're pushing for any rank goal, discount coaches are phenomenal. They're wonderful. They help us get to our goals, but they're super unreliable. You might get a coach cancellation form and be like, oh my gosh, I just talked to them 2 days ago. What happened? They were so happy. And I've even had people who are on our team right now who are business builder coaches canceled their coach account within 3 days of signing up as a coach with no warning. And I got the cancellation form and I was like, oh my gosh. And they realized, they ended up signing back up. But so you never know. So just don't rely on them because they are truly there just to receive a discount. And if they're struggling in their journey, they're probably not going to pay the money to be on Shakeology, and that stinks. But it is what it is. Last one, and this one will go fast. Daily activities. So when you think about your business and you think about goals that you want to achieve, it all boils down to what you're going to do every single day to achieve those. So I usually try to break those up into into 3 categories. So I have a monthly vision, a weekly vision, and a daily vision. So when you're creating your monthly vision, this is the basics of when do you want to run a challenge group? And are you going to co-lead it with someone? Or is it going to be a program specific group? Things like that. So you're creating kind of a schedule for your month. Then if you break it down into weeks, for me, this looks like posts in my group. So I want to make sure that each week I'm scheduled a week out at least with my daily assignments in my challenge groups. It also could mean thinking through and planning out social media or free groups or things like that. Then if you break it down even further into your daily actions, what are your daily non-negotiables? So for most of us, this would be things like your power hour, things like making sure that you've checked in with your challenge groups every single day, making sure that you have answered your emails, expanding your network, things like that. Those are going to be your daily to-do list. And you're the only one that can come up with your daily to-do list. And there's nothing wrong with Elena's daily to-do list versus Carla's daily to-do list. It's just a matter of knowing what your non-negotiables are and running with those. They talk about setting SMART goals, and some of you may have heard this before, but SMART goals are specific, meaningful, attainable, realistic, and time-based. If I'll repeat it one more time. So a SMART goal is specific, meaningful, attainable, realistic, and time-based. So when you're setting goals and you're looking at them, you're thinking, okay, does having my power hour daily, is that a SMART goal? Is it specific? Yes, check. Is it meaningful? Is it doing anything in your business? Yes, check. Is it attainable? Absolutely, check. Is it realistic and time-based? And so you're looking at every goal you set from that viewpoint to make sure that you're setting goals that are productive in your business, that are going to be worth your time. And we want to work smarter, not harder. Okay, so that's kind of the 5 areas. Now, what is my computer doing? Okay. Now, once you have those goals, that's great. So what I would encourage you to do, go through that 5 categories and set a goal in each of those 5 categories. But once you do that, now what? That's kind of the question that I get. Okay, great. I have these 5 goals. I know that I want to be Emerald. I want to make $100 a month. I want to lose 10 pounds. You have these goals, but now what do you do with them? This is where you break them down and you set a time frame on them. So if you want to, I break mine in the same scenario. So at the beginning of the year, I set yearly goals. and then I do it by quarter, and then by month and by week. So for me, I'll just give you an example. I have a certain number of Success Club points that I want to hit each month. So I have my overall monthly goal for Success Club, and then I break that down into weekly form. So ideally, I would hit it in the first week of the month, but if not, then I have a goal for every single week. Okay, this week I need to sign up 2 people. This week I need to sign up 2 people, where I want to expand my team by 3 coaches, etc. And that from that you create your action plan to do so. So take it from a basic standpoint, your fitness level. Let's say in the next month you want to lose 4 pounds. That broken down is 1 pound a week. That's a totally realistic goal. So if you look at it from a SMART perspective, it's specific, it's meaningful to your journey, it's totally attainable and realistic, and it's time-based. So for 4 pounds, that's a great goal for the month. Now, you can set that goal, but if you don't put action steps to it, then it's not going to be worth anything. So you're going to pick a program, you're going to pick a number of cheat days that you're going to have, and you're going to pick, what things you want to tackle nutritionally. So then you've broken it down to a game plan. Do the same thing with your rank. Let's say you want to hit Emerald within the next month. That means that you need to sign 2 coaches. So in the next month, that's 1 coach every other week. How you do that is through power hours. So you want to get in XYZ number of power hours every single week, or send out XYZ number of invites, whatever that looks like. And that's how you achieve your rank goal. Okay, so a couple things to wrap up, and then I'll take questions. I'm trying to keep it at 30 minutes for you guys. So one thing that it's easy to get discouraged when you set goals, and it's easy to go on the super high end of the spectrum and say, I want to be 5-star by the end of the year and make $10,000 a month. And, it's easy to go like on the crazy side of the spectrum. And then when you don't hit those goals, you feel like such a loser. But at the end of the day, you have to view your days as winning the day. I talk about this in my fitness groups, but if at the end of the day, did you win the day? Can you assess your actions that day and win the day? So for them, I say, did you win the day nutritionally? Did you get all your containers in? Did you not have any cheats? Did you win the day with your water? Did you win the day by working out? And so when that scale doesn't move, I can still say, look, out of the last 7 days, you won the day 5 times. And that's a huge thing to be proud of. So it's the same thing in your business. Can you look back and win the day? And what does that look like to you? So for me, in this season of my life, which is mass chaos, my winning the day looks different than it did 6 months ago. So winning the day 6 months ago would have been getting a hardcore workout, preparing a fresh made homemade meal at dinner time, having, sending out 25 invites a day. I had a different level that I was at 6 months ago. My body physically cannot keep up these days. And that's just what happens when you're 37 weeks pregnant. And so what does win the day look like for me now? Winning the day look like for me now? Did I get active somehow? Did I go for a walk? Did I do my Beachbody on-demand workout? Did I do my best? Did I get my water in? Did I drink my shake? And then did I do my power hour? My non-negotiables include I always check in with my challenge groups. If I haven't checked in with my challenge groups that day, it's been one heck of a bad day, because that's the one thing I will not go to bed without doing. And same with my inbox. I will not go to bed without my inbox empty, because those are the 2 things that are just like my must-dos. So that's, if I won the day, that means that I check with my challenge groups and I empty my inbox. And if at the end of the day, that's all I achieved, then you know what? I'm going to pat myself on the back and be proud of that. So figuring out what your win the day actions are. Visualize your goals by writing them down. So actually physically writing them down on paper and then putting them somewhere where you can see them. Some people put them as the background on their phone or computer if you work from your phone or computer a lot. I actually like to physically write them out and hang them in my workspace in my bedroom. But physically writing them down and putting them where you can see them. That way on the hard days, because some of these daily action items are not the most fun to do every single day. And so it may feel a little monotonous. And when you're really tired or you've had a rough day emotionally, you look at the things that you need to do, but it can be a bit of a struggle. When you are visualizing those goals and remembering why you're working towards them, it's a lot easier if they're right there in front of you. One thing to remember is reassess and be honest about your efforts. So for me, in that first year of my business, when I was shooting for this crazy goal that was just so not attainable, I also wasn't honest about my efforts in the fact that, okay, if I really did want to reach this goal, then my efforts need to be kicked into high gear times 10. And so I had to do kind of some reflection on my goals and going into 2017, say, okay, this is what's realistic, this is what is meaningful to me, and this is what really matters in my business. Remember to control the controllable and let go of the rest. When it comes to discount coaches and things like that, you can control what you can control, but we can't control other people. And especially as your teams grow underneath you, you will learn that specifically. That is not a reflection of you as a leader, because you can't control what other people do or don't do. If you're giving them the resources and support, then you have to love them where they're at and control what you can and let go of everything else and not let it define who you are as a leader or as a coach. Same thing with your clients. Oh my gosh, same thing with your clients, your weight loss clients. If somebody's not doing what they're supposed to and they're not working out and they've never logged into Beachbody On Demand and they bought a package and you're over here pulling your hair out like, come on, you have this crazy asset. You can't control their actions, and that is so not a reflection of you as a coach. That is them and their issues, and that's so not you. So I encourage you to emotionally detach from that also. Share your goals with someone. So whether it's an accountability partner, a spouse, your upline, me, if you want, I'm happy to help with that also. Share your goals, because that kind of puts them out of the dream world and into reality, which is also really scary and exciting. And then when you're doing that, be honest about the accountability that you want and need. So for some people, and this was a hard lesson that I learned in that first year of my business, is that my coaches would tell me their goals, but in retrospect, they really didn't want to be held accountable to those goals. They wanted to go at their own pace, which is so totally fine. But I needed them to say that. I needed them to say, I want to reach this goal, but I'm going to do it at my own pace. Or the vice versa, and they say, I want to reach diamond by 6 weeks from now. I need you to stay on top of me, because that's how they thrive. So just making sure that you know what you want heading into sharing those goals. Okay, two other things we're done. One bad day. Don't let one bad day derail you. In the business, you're going to hear a lot of no, and I know that sucks, and it's hard to not take it personally, but in this business, that you're going to have days where all you hear is no, and those days are going to want to derail you and discourage you and make you want to quit. But it's those days where you get the messages from your challengers where they say, I had somebody lose 6 pounds in Clean Week this week, and she is so happy. 3 days in, she was like, I cannot live without these shakes. How do I sign up? And she signed up as a discount coach. Does that normally happen? No, it sure as heck does not. But was I celebrating it? Yes, absolutely. And that means that the no's that I heard, because I have like 6 people in Clean Week, and I had 2 or 3 come back and say, well, I'm going to do it after the holidays. Totally was not what I was expecting. So I could either choose to let that derail me or be like, you know what? I got this one girl and she's so happy and she's so on fire and she's so pumped up with her journey. Fun fact, she's the one I was scared to invite. I don't know if y'all saw my video on the team page. She's the one that I was scared to invite, and she signed up as a coach. So coolest thing ever. But I didn't let that one or four bad messages derail me. I focused on the one that was a success. So don't let one bad day derail you. And if you're struggling with that, reach out to me or your upline coach, because that's what we're there for. We're there to give you that little pep talk to be like, look at the lives that you're changing. Look at the people you're loving on. Like, let's focus on that instead of the no's, because that's definitely can get discouraging. And the last thing is so I heard this one time in a call, and it really kind of hit home. Some people think that what we do is hard work as coaches. Personally, I don't think what we do is hard. Being a firefighter is hard. Being a police officer is hard. Being a freaking social worker is hard. You know, there are other levels of hard. Being a Beachbody coach is awesome because we get to help people out of the overflow of how we've been helped. And so at the end of the day, we need to focus on that aspect of it. And there's a certain amount of hustle. It's not necessarily easy. I wouldn't say this is an easy business, but it is not hard by definition of hard. It requires facing our fears, which is scary. So if we can learn to overcome those and tackle those head on, it's going to help with our success in our businesses so much more. So that's all I've got. I did go long. I knew I was going to. I try, y'all. I really do. So does anybody have any questions? We can open it up to questions. If you have anything, feel free. Anybody have anything? Yeah, Elena has one. I'm going to unmute you. Hold on. Okay, go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Cool. I was really cool new Bluetooth headphones. It's like my new toy. So on the posting, as far as social media posting, I know you said, setting goals and making sure we do what ours look like for us, whether we're a new coach or seasoned coach and so forth.
Right.
I don't know if how do I phrase it? So I had watched the team call that you hosted with, I believe her name was Stephanie. She's the one that had the toddler running in the back.
Yeah, that was a crazy team call.
And in her call with social media posting, she was saying as far as like algorithms and the pod, having like the posting pod and stuff like that, how you're basically competing with yourself. And I've noticed that online, like for a while there I was good and I was posting 2 a day, 3 a day, and they would all get on Facebook, they would all get bunched together, and you could only see like the small thumbnail. So I ended up going back to one post a day, and I don't always Beachbody related, so I don't know. Do we go back and just do the 2 and 3 a day and just if it chunks it together, or?
So hard to say because I can give you advice on what it is now, and then know that in like a month or two, Facebook could change everything. My advice would be 2 is kind of the sweet spot. 2 to 3 is kind of the sweet spot. I do more than that, and I honestly have not seen a decrease in my traffic on my page. Because I don't plan out my posts. I just post authentically with whatever I'm feeling in that moment. So some days I might have 5 posts, and some days if it's a really bad day, I'm only going to have 2. But I would say sharing one that is related to your business or your journey or whatever it may be, and then one non-related. Because most likely your non-related Beachbody posts are going to get higher traffic than your Beachbody posts. And that has no reflection on you and your posting abilities. It's truly just what people gravitate towards. They're going to be quicker to like a picture of you and
Yeah.
your boyfriend than they're going to be to like a picture of you working out. Because they don't want you to know that they're actually looking at you working out. So
you're watching all my stories.
Yeah, I see you.
Okay, I don't see you.
There's a local radio DJ that watches my stories, and when I found that out, I was so freaked out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is weird." I see you. Yeah, you have to find that sweet spot for you. But in my opinion, in the things that I've experienced, 2 to 3 is kind of the sweet spot. If you're wanting to do more than one a day.
Yeah, I am. And then too, because I know that you've mentioned about like you can scroll 3 times, you should be able to, get all the gist. Instead of scrolling on Facebook, I just use my Instagram so I can see all the pictures on a grid. And all I see is workout. Or it's like,
I've done the same. Yeah, you kind of have to gut check and reassess and be like, oh man, I haven't posted something personal in a while. Yeah, and it's easier to do that when you're posting twice a day, because you can add more to your social media that way. But yes.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions? Wait, hold on. Okay. I'm looking for hands. Everybody's good? Yeah. Okay, so I hope that if anybody needs help setting goals or setting an action plan to your goals, whatever it may be, please feel free to reach out to me. And if you're not my personally sponsored coach, let's do a 3-way with your upline and me, and we can set those goals together. Let's do it sooner versus later. We've got 16 days. But I'm not going anywhere, just FYI. So we've got a game plan for post-Henry. Everything is in place, but just so y'all know. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Don't let setting goals scare you. It should be exciting. They should be a little bit unnerving. It should stretch you a little bit. But truly remember that like the heart of why you're doing this is to help people. And the more people that you help, the more everything else falls into place. So the rest is just logistics. So I'm going to end the call on that note. And if you need anything at all, please feel free to private message me. We're going to take a picture. Thank you. I'm always bad about that. All right. Y'all, quick smile. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Okay. All right. Y'all are awesome. Thanks for showing up tonight. Have a great Sunday evening, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.